KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
A pillar of the Fargo-Moorhead community dies in a bicycle accident. We remember the man who founded the Fargo Marathon.
A Minnesota children's store gets strong reaction from both sides as it hosts a drag queen story time. We take you there.
The Red River Valley Fair is making it easier for local businesses to stay open no matter what weather Mother Nature throws at us this week.
And an energy drink that's all the rage with kids is under fire in the U.S. Senate this morning. We'll find out why.
Live, KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
Good morning. It's just after 8 a.m. Thanks for starting your week with us in your only local news from 7 to 9 a.m. I'm Adam Ladwig.
And I'm Emily Welker, and this is hard news to start your work week off for sure. Not something we wanted to hear.
Pillar of the community, just a friend of the show, just an all-around, really beloved figure in Fargo-Moorhead dies unexpectedly in a bicycle pickup accident. Mark Knutson, the man who founded the Fargo Marathon. We'll have more on the tragic, unexpected death in a little bit, but first, we have to start off the hour with a check of the weather. KVRR morning meteorologist Mariah joins us this Monday. Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning, Adam, and good morning, Fargo. We are waking up to a nice start to your day today. Temperatures mostly in the mid-60s to head out the door to start your early Monday morning. And we are looking here on our KVRR tower cam. Looks like even a bit hazy outside, but we are seeing the nice and the sun is on the rise. The winds will mostly stay from the north and northeast today, fairly breezy, especially if you're working your way in the northern valley. But let's talk about your satellite radar this morning. We did see some early morning rain showers, even some severe weather yesterday through portions of the region. But overall today, we are going to stay mostly clear and mostly sunny as we're heading through your Monday. We'll have a bit of clouds to deal with as you head into your afternoon, but things will mostly clear out to a very nice day across portions of our region and even a very quiet night. A cooler night, though. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s tonight, so you do want to keep that in mind. Well, let's talk about the winds as well. Futurecast winds throughout the day today. A pretty blustery northwest wind flow right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. And we'll even see them stay a little sustained through the afternoon, but falling eventually to single digits by the time we're heading through tonight and early into Tuesday morning. Here is a look at 4th and 4th in the Devil's Lake Basin this morning. They have some clouds behind here on the cam, and looks like people are heading out and starting their Monday, but it is still a very nice start to your Monday. And as you're heading through your day today, we'll stay mostly sunny with, again, that north wind. Temperatures across the region, 78 in Detroit Lakes today, 77 in Fargo, 74 in Grand Forks, even cooler further north at 71 in Langdon. So a fairly cool, even some below average temperatures for your July month. So you do want to keep that in mind as well, but still mostly comfortable. Heading through your night tonight, we'll stay mostly clear, still on the cooler side. Overnight lows in the upper 40s, 41 for the low tonight into Langdon, 48 right here into Fargo, pretty close to 50, and 49 in Fergus Falls. On your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast, heading through your week, we're still seeing those below average temperatures for July until we get to around Thursday. But in the meantime, we are going to stay in the mid to upper 70s with some isolated showers and possible storms through Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll get warmer with a high of 81. On Friday, to start your weekend, a high of 82. But looks like the weather is going to be on the calmer side heading through your weekend as well. Saturday and Sunday in the mid to upper 70s and a nice and a sunny weekend overall.
Thank you, Mariah. A tremendous loss for our entire region this morning. The longtime director of the Fargo Marathon has died in a bike pickup crash in Detroit Lakes. The crash on South Shore Drive killed 53-year-old Mark Knutson. He was riding his bicycle just after 7 a.m. Sunday when he was hit by a pickup towing a boat. First responders attempted life-saving measures on the scene. He was flown by a helicopter to Sanford Medical Center in Fargo, where he was pronounced dead. The driver of that pickup has been identified as 42-year-old Jacob Grabowski of Fargo. No criminal charges have been filed as the investigation is ongoing.
Knutson was the longtime executive director of the Fargo Marathon. He was behind the start of the marathon way back in 2005. And he most recently added another role, general manager at Detroit Mountain. That's a recreational area in the region. He moved out to Detroit Lakes in June of 2022.
KVRR and all across the region.
Absolutely.
Well, new this morning, authorities identify the Florida man who died after rolling his pickup, getting thrown into I-29, and then getting hit by an oncoming semi. Highway Patrol says he is 24-year-old Logan Barcia of Old Town, Florida. The crash happened around 2:45 Sunday morning around 20 miles north of Fargo. Marcy had died at the scene. The driver of the semi, 50-year-old Jeffrey Samples of Meridian, Mississippi, was not hurt. That crash remains under investigation.
A sprinkler system saves an apartment building from burning down in Fargo. Firefighters responded to fire alarms going off at 4462 30th Avenue South. It was around 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and they found water coming from under a doorway midway down the hall. A small fire in the bedroom of the unit had turned on the sprinkler, which put the fire out. The person who lives there was out on the balcony at the time. They called in a contractor to remove the water. People were allowed back into their apartments. Their fire and smoke damage was minor because of the sprinkler's activation. That cause is being investigated.
St. Paul police say they identified the remains of a missing woman at a storage unit in Coon Rapids. That woman was reported missing in May.
She's one of 2 women whose remains were found after disappearing. Mary McGuire reports.
I think it's nothing short of horrific.
For the second time in just a week, St. Paul police have found a missing woman dead and dismembered in a storage unit, both of them connected to 40-year-old Joseph Jorgensen.
This all began with a tip. It was a very important tip, one that put us on the path to finding Fanta.
In late May, someone close to 33-year-old Fanta Jayavong of Lakeville called the BCA sex trafficking tip line, telling them she was in an abusive relationship with Jorgensen and that she was missing. Investigators were led to a storage unit off the 9100 block of University Avenue Northwest in Coon Rapids, where they found human remains. It's unclear how long they were there, but on Friday, the medical examiner positively identified them as Fanta. Police are now looking at a home Jorgensen owned in Shoreview for more clues about what happened to her.
Thankfully, cases like this are extremely rare, but they are reminders to all of us that monsters can be real.
Jorgensen is the same man just charged in the murder of another girlfriend in a case with eerie similarities. The body of mother of 3 Mariah Starin was found cut up and left in a Woodbury storage unit last week. Investigators are now working to find out if Jorgensen has left behind any more victims.
We don't know. And I think that's the part that we want to know. We want people to call us. If somebody, this started as a simple tip, somebody that cared for somebody and made that phone call.
What?
Well, the clock is ticking down this morning to a possible strike by UPS workers. More than 300,000 workers are threatening to walk off the job August 1st if their union can't work out a new contract. On Saturday, UPS workers in Minneapolis held a practice picket. The workers say they're hoping to send a message that they're serious about striking if they can't work out a new deal.
Negotiations fell apart earlier last week with both sides blaming each other for walking away from the bargaining table. The union says part-time salaries remain a sticking point along with safer working conditions.
We're working to get even stronger language and stronger contracts for our people so we don't have people dying on the job every year from heat exhaustion. We need air conditioning in trucks. We need strong wages and benefits to uplift the middle class.
UPS says it is encouraging the Teamsters Union to resume negotiations. Minnesota felons are allowed to register to vote this morning, thanks to a new law that went into effect in June.
The League of Women's Voters have stations all set up around the state, spreading the word. Rob Olson has more on the story.
In the hallway of the federal courthouse in Minneapolis, the League of Women Voters set up an information table as part of a campaign to remind tens of thousands of Minnesotans who couldn't vote before that they can now.
So we're excited about the momentum and getting that word out, we know, is really, really important.
This is one of 6 such sites where they're doing this, also in courthouses and libraries in major cities across the state, so that felons who've been released from custody but remain on probation understand that as of June 1st, the law changed and their voting rights restored.
We know that people who are more connected to their communities and engaged with their communities actually are less risk of coming back into the system. And that is an important public safety objective.
Signed into law in March, the Restore the Vote push had been 2 decades in the making. Gave voting rights back to some 55,000 Minnesotans who are on supervised release for a felony, but they know that there remains confusion.
We're doing nothing more than educating while simultaneously connecting persons under supervision with a local community resource, i.e. the League of Women Voters.
The new law is now being challenged in court by a conservative group who argue the Constitution requires a full felony sentence be served, including probation. But while that plays out, they say the law is still changed.
It's full steam ahead. We are implementing this law as the legislature and the governor intended and as the law commands us to do. So we're doing that.
Secretary of State Steve Simon there saying he's also pretty confident the constitutional language in Minnesota will uphold this change in the law. But again, they say right now they're just trying to let people know that it's out there, knowing that some people simply are not aware of what changed and when. These pop-up sites for the League of Women Voters will continue across the state.
Well, looks like it's a kind of a hazy, cloudy day to start our work week off today.
It does, Adam, and it looks like, well, actually we're going to see some breaking and some clearing for some of those clouds as we're heading through the afternoon. So we're still seeing a pretty good Monday overall, but if you're heading out the door, I will keep you up to date right here in about 1 minute.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
Good morning, Valley City. It is currently 8:24. We are waking up to some clouds and some sun across portions of the region, but temperatures as of right now, 63 degrees, what it feels like at 63 as well. The winds are mostly going to stay from the east and northeast, just under about 10 miles per hour through your morning, but we are going to see some higher winds as you head throughout your day today. But let's talk about your highs across the region yesterday. We did see a fairly warm day, 91 for the high yesterday in Fargo, 88 in Grand Forks, a bit cooler, still fairly warm as well. 92 out in Bismarck, 85 down in Sioux Falls, 85 in Omaha as well, 86 in the cities yesterday. So we are getting a break from temperatures in the 90s. We did have a cold front that is continuing to push south as you head throughout your day today, mostly already pushed throughout the overnight and early morning. But again, it is still lingering into portions of the area, so don't be surprised if you do see some redevelopment of some showers as you're heading through your afternoon today. But satellite radar, as we were waking up and heading out the door, fairly calm and quiet for much of the region. Looks like there are some showers trying to work their way through portions of Colorado, but again, off to a fairly quiet beginning to the beginning of your Monday. They'll talk about some clouds today, mostly staying in the northern valley this morning, but we are going to clear out to a fairly nice day. We'll have some sun, a mix of sun and clouds throughout portions of the area, but the calm weather does continue into your Monday night. And then once you're waking up on your Tuesday morning, we'll wake up to increasing clouds. Along with that, we're going to see, again, some isolated showers just through Jamestown into areas of southeast North Dakota, mostly staying south of I-94 through your early morning into the early afternoon as well. So you want to keep that in mind and keep that umbrella by your side, as some of those showers will be pretty brief. Looks like we're not going to see any storms from this system, but just the isolated showers that work their way through portions of Fergus Falls. Looks like they're going to stretch into Lakes Country as well. But your forecast for today for northeast North Dakota, a mostly sunny day. Temperatures in the mid to lower 70s. Northern Minnesota, you'll see temperatures in the mid to lower 70s as well. A little warmer once you're getting through Lakes Country through west central Minnesota, 85 in Alexandria and 78 in Breckenridge. In southeast North Dakota, a nice and a sunny day, 78 in Oaks, and 83 looks like that warm spot in Siston today. On your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast heading throughout your week, we'll still see temperatures slightly below average, 74 on Wednesday with some isolated showers and possible storms. So, of course, staying weather aware on Thursday is important, and we'll warm up heading through your weekend for Friday with a high of 82, even upper 70s, but it will still feel fairly comfortable as you're heading through your Saturday and into your Sunday.
Everything is looking pretty comfortable. I could live with the 70s all year round.
Yeah, 70s are pretty good to me too. So.
Yeah, 70s in July, 70s in August, 70s in January.
Why not?
Why not?
Maybe not 70s in January.
I mean, we're not going to get that.
Yeah.
It would be, it would be calm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mariah. A Hallmark case debating the teaching of evolution in public schools begins on this day in 1925.
The Scopes monkey trial started in Dayton, Tennessee. John Scopes was a young science teacher accused of teaching Darwin's theory of evolution, and that violated state law. The trial captured the nation's attention. Famous attorney and orator Clarence Darrow represented Snopes, Former presidential candidate William Jennings Bryan argued for the state. The law banning the teaching of evolution was unpopular, and local school officials approached Scopes about teaching it in order to test if he would actually become arrested, and he was, and they found him guilty.
He never served any prison time, and someone paid off the $100 fine levied against him. It wasn't until 1968 that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that evolution can be taught in public schools and creationism cannot, claiming it violates the separation of church and state. More than 4 decades after the Scopes monkey trial.
It's amazing. It took you that long.
Still ahead on KVRR local news, the Red River Valley Fair is a new space this year so local businesses can avoid any curveballs from Mother Nature. See how it is helping keep vendors who would have otherwise skipped out on the event in 2 minutes.
And people keep throwing stuff at singers on stage. Another global superstar is the target this morning. We're going to find out who it is in your Morning Buzz.
2 never-released songs from the late icon Prince are now out this morning. See how they're reacting at the Legend's favorite record store.
And, you know, we are kind of known here in Fargo for our red pandas, especially the very successful breeding program at the Red River Zoo. And now, the most famous zoo in America is playing catch-up. We will meet their new baby panda just before 9.
Always afford to be you to the max. You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
The Red River Valley Fair added a new feature this year, providing a spot for small business owners to beat the elements.
KVRR's Aaron Walling spoke with some vendors about this new adventure at the fair.
There are a plethora of reasons why people go to the Red River Valley Fair. Maybe it's for the music, the carnival rides, or the food. But now people can go there for local small businesses.
It's a great opportunity to meet more people and kind of branch out my business a little bit.
The square is brand new to the fair this year, providing a space for small business owners to get out of the summer heat and not have to deal with storms that roll through and disrupt their stands.
I love it, and I love that we're inside so we don't have to worry about the wind and the rain blowing everything around. And yeah, this is just a great event, great opportunity.
For Tammy Binder, owner of Tammy Towels, she says they were ready to call it quits on the fair after having to deal with storms last summer. But when the fair opened up the square, that changed everything.
We were outside last year and we said we're not going to do that again because the weather was so bad. We had 3 storms. And then when they said there was going to be, first it was going to be in their tent, outside, and then inside, I just went, oh yeah, definitely. We're going to do this. It's going to be so much better than last year.
Christy German, the owner of CG Designs, has been doing this for over 4 years. And it means a lot to her to be able to get out in front of customers in this newest chapter of the fair.
It means a ton to me. I do this on the side. I actually have a full-time job too, but this is just something that I can be creative at. So it's just great to meet new people and know that my items are going to be in their homes, which is really awesome.
Reporting at the Red River Valley Fair, Aaron Walling, KVRR Local News.
You can find the square right next to the North Gate entrance at the fair. Well, drivers drift into our region to show off the art of drifting.
I'm drifting.
Ah, yes, you are. And the Drift puts on multiple shows throughout the summer. Each year it's getting bigger and bigger, and they performed at Interstate Raceway in Glendon over the weekend.
Cars are loud as they make the turns, burning through rubber, causing smoke to billow up. As they prepare for more events this year, Indy Drift appreciates the support from the community that has gotten them to this point.
We started off very small at our very first ever event back in 2015, and now we're at the point where we sell out events constantly. Our driver list is always full. Tons of people plan on coming to our events to watch them. It's nice to think that people look forward to coming to our events.
Next event is set for July 27th through the 30th. The 9th season of the Red River Market is off and running. Thousands took advantage of the flawless weather downtown for opening day. The market happens every Saturday near Broadway Square from 10 to 2. Around 100 vendors came out on the first day.
You name it, the market has it, from food and pantry items to household goods, art, and live music. It's also a great chance for small business owners to put their names out there and network with the FM community.
It's always good to just be able to serve the people within this community. As far as inflation and things like that, I mean, we are all spending a little bit more these days, unfortunately, but it's good to keep things in our community as a whole. Come on down. I mean, it's a great time. We got great food, great music, and a lot of great people from the community out and about.
The market's going to move to Sunday for next weekend only. That's because of the downtown Fargo Street Fair. And people supported veterans with some impressive sets of wheels at the Fargo Air Museum. The museum teaming up with Twisted Royalty for Wings and Wheels in its 4th year behind the event.
Previous years, the organization has raised hundreds of thousands for ALS research, addiction awareness, and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. This year, the funds go back to local veterans. It's hitting close to home for much of the Twisted Royalty staff.
This year we wanted to kind of give back to the Air Museum and local veterans because my brother started his service this year and my father is also a veteran. So a lot of us in the group have veterans in our families, and what better way to give back to your country this close to the 4th of July than by supporting the people who put us here.
This year they raised at least $5,000, but that total is rising. If you're heading out the door, here's your fast forecast to get a pretty nice Monday started.
We're back in 2 minutes.